Good morning, everyone. I want to thank Rich Engel yesterday for making the wise decision to move this ceremony from outdoors to indoors, but I think that was an excellent call. It's a great day to be sitting here when you think about Hamilton's long history, and what 2016 has meant to the community of Hamilton. It wasn't 100 days ago we were down in Kentucky with the ribbon cutting ceremony for Meldal, which is another centerpiece in Hamilton's capital reinvestment within the community. And here we are today talking about a project, doing a ceremonial groundbreaking with some what looks like cat litter, but with a project that was first at least recorded as being discussed in 1909. I'm not going to spend a lot of time talking about the history. Our city historian, Jim Blunt, is here, and I actually last night looked at all the articles he had written over the years, or the ones at least I could find on the internet, and it's just an absolutely fascinating history, and I'm looking forward to hearing him talk about those. But the one thing that I did want to talk about in the opening remarks before we start listening to some of the speakers was the fact that it doesn't matter if you're a business, an industry, if you are a community, you have to invest in yourself. When the investment stops, that is when bad things start to happen. And Hamilton has a long history. We've been here since 1791, and the investment that's taken place in the last couple years, I want to take a moment and just think about that. We have Meldal, again, that was started in the mid-2000s, actually probably even prior to that, but really picked up speed in the mid-2000s with a groundbreaking a couple years ago, the ribbon cutting this year, a groundbreaking ceremony for a $32 million transportation project that, again, that has been talked about a lot since 1909. And as Jim will tell you, it's been talked about almost every decade since 1909. But the thing that is important is that the mayor and city council today have made such a strong commitment to reinvesting in the community and seeing projects to fruition. The investment goes far beyond transportation projects. If you drive through High and MLK, you'll see that intersection is about halfway complete, that infrastructure project. Next year at this time, we'll be looking at Maine, Eaton, Millville as an improved transportation project. 2 years from next year, we'll be looking at Maine, McKinley, Haldeman, Serial as a project that will be under construction, but a very consistent making sure that resources are ready, they're being allocated, and that they're reinvesting in the community. That is a huge deal. I want to take a moment and I want to thank the mayor and city council right now for that, seeing that through. And before I introduce to the podium our newest congressman from District 8, I would like to also thank the city employees. We have many, many city employees in attendance today. They have taken the lead in so many areas. People come to me on the street and they'll talk about experiences they've had, and what is really telling to me is 90% of the things that people are telling me I know nothing about. That's our employees taking the lead, doing the right things, adhering to the city's the core values, if you will, and just moving things forward. So I also want to take a second and I want to thank the city employees who work on these projects on the front line day in, day out and make sure that they're getting done. And just because I know I'll forget at the end, I want to thank right now Tammy Rose, Peggy Bangy, and Stacy Dietrich that have put the program together today. They were here very early. They did a fantastic job, so thanks to all three of you for doing that. Now, I would like to introduce our newest congressman from Ohio District 8, Warren Davidson, to come up and make a few remarks.
Thanks a lot. It's definitely an honor to be here and an honor to serve as your congressman here in the 8th District of Ohio. And really to celebrate an event, you talk about change is hard. This is 100+ years in the making. So many hands make light work. And that'll tell you this was a heavy lifting project because a lot of people for a long time worked very hard to see this to fruition. And so it's an honor to be here and an honor to celebrate something that culminates in a lot of thought, a lot of work, and to be sure, a fair bit of talking, but it fits with a theme that I hope we see more of out of government, which is less talking and more doing. And so it's an honor to be here and see this take shape. It's good progress for the city of Hamilton, and frankly, during the course of the year, I've learned a lot and met a lot of folks that are really instrumental in seeing kind of a new surge in momentum here, and it's just an honor to be a part of it. So look forward to serving as your congressman. And if our office can be of help along the way for infrastructure projects or anything else that the city of Hamilton's being part of, we're happy to serve. And so I hope you'll take the chance to get to know your local staff. We've got someone from DC here, Jason Jaworski, who's our chief, Ryan Beckham, who's a longtime Butler County resident, and Xavier Grad, who's our deputy chief, and the Westchester office is just moving just outside of Old Westchester, a little further down on Cincinnati-Dayton Road. So hope you'll find us all very accessible and present as much as possible. If I can't be here, one of our staff can for as many good things like this, and look forward to many similar things to come. And a big part of it goes to just the win out of Barclays, which is right near here, and just seeing the growth in the economy. And there's a lot more that we can do to see the economy grow. And legislation is largely the reason that the rules are the way they are today, and Congress is supposed to do that. So I hope to get back and do less talking and more doing. So thanks for the opportunity to talk, and thanks for the opportunity to serve.
Next, I would like to invite Stuart Zorn, a representative from U.S. Sherrod Brown's office, come say a few remarks.
Thank you. Senator Brown wishes he could be here today. I have a letter to read on his behalf. Dear friends, although I can't be with you at today's groundbreaking ceremony, I would like to extend my warmest regards and thanks to all those who were involved in allowing this project to become a reality. Funded primarily by the Ohio, Kentucky, Indiana Council of Governments and the Surface Transportation Program, South Hamilton Crossing will provide a much-needed east-west connection and improve the overall traffic safety in the community. Once this project has been completed, a larger overpass will extend above the railroad tracks, allowing emergency services to better serve the community, more access to Miami University's Hamilton campus, and safer travels for residents and commuters alike. Congratulations again. You have my best wishes for the years ahead. Sincerely, Senator Sherrod Brown.
Thank you. Next, I'd like to introduce Robert Braggs, a representative for U.S. Senator Rob Portman, to make a few remarks.
Thank you. It's an honor to be here. I have a short message to read on behalf of Senator Portman. Congratulations on the groundbreaking for the new South Hamilton Railroad crossing. I appreciate the outstanding dedication of you and your staff to the community and applaud the hard work of the City of Hamilton and all of the community partners and elected officials involved for their commitment in making this project a reality. As you know, Ohio has recently become a national business and logistics hub for the rest of the country. And if we are going to continue to play such an important role in America's economic future, then we need to make sure we are focused on investing in projects that will help assist in creating a highly integrated and sustainable transportation network. The South Hamilton Railroad Crossing project is a first-hand example of how investing in vital infrastructure will help spur economic development, create jobs, and improve the well-being of surrounding neighborhoods. I look forward to seeing all of the great benefits this project brings to the city of Hamilton and Butler County. Please accept my best wishes as you celebrate this milestone, and do not hesitate to reach out should you need any assistance. Thank you.
Next, I'd like to introduce our own local representative, Wes Rutherford.
Congressman Davison said, I mean, this thing has been 100 plus years in the making, and it's wonderful that it's finally starting to come to fruition. As a lifelong Hamilton resident, I've made the trip over the South Hamilton crossing, at grade crossing, plenty of times. I've been held up by the train plenty of times, and I probably have skirted the railroad crossing a couple times. Chief Scramese, you're back there, don't listen to that last comment. My father has worked for Pepsi Cola almost 30 years, so needless to say, that crossing is a daily adventure for him. And to finally make this come to fruition is going to mean so much for the community. It truly is. And you think about the significance of this project. I mean, I see some of the dignitaries that have come out today. I see a couple of our council members, Councilman Knabb and Klink back there. And is that Councilman Bonstein as well? Yes, it is. Our Butler County engineer, Greg Wilkins, is here, and our Commissioner, T.C. Rogers, members of our fine fire and EMS department, and as I said, our public safety director, Scott Scramese, is back there as well. This is very important, not just for the development and for traffic flow, but as I said, fire and EMS and police, giving them one more point of access from one side of the tracks to the other than High Street, which, as anybody that's driven down High Street around 5 o'clock knows, that can be a matter of minutes whenever you're trying to save lives. Ain't that right? So it is my honor and privilege to be part of this program. When Joshua called me, and I think as Joshua and I were on the phone talking about trying to get track funding for this, the mayor was buzzing in. And I believe right after the mayor got done buzzing in, Jody Gunderson was buzzing in. And not too long after he got done buzzing in, right as I was hanging up with Joshua, Scott Owens, who represents the city of Hamilton and Columbus, was calling as well. And my answer to all of them was the same. Of course, I'd be happy to do whatever I can, and you have the full resources in my office to try to help make this happen. I'd like to pretend like I took a bigger role in it, but we made phone calls, we wrote letters, we shared on social media the need for community input to the track board as best we could, and we finally made the track funding happen. And it wasn't just me, it wasn't just Joshua, it wasn't just the mayor, but it was a collaborative effort. As you see on the program, there's a lot of partners involved in this. And as Ronald Reagan once said, it's amazing what you can get done whenever you don't care who gets the credit for it. And that's exactly what happened here. We all work together, and we're making it happen, and we're finally going to have a safe way to cross the South Hamilton crossing. So that being said, if Mr. Mayor and Joshua, if you would come forward, I'd like to present you two. And yes, Vice Mayor Fear as well. I have a commendation from the Ohio House of Representatives recognizing this event. I won't read it all. However, I will read one line of it, and it says, "Throughout its history, the city of Hamilton has become known for its residents' cooperation, integrity, and willingness to work hard. Exemplary qualities that are still manifested by its citizens today." And that's exactly what it took to make this happen. So, City of Hamilton, on behalf of the Ohio House of Representatives and myself and Speaker Cliff Rosenberger, congratulations on the groundbreaking.
Thank you.
Thank you. I'm not sure what's 50% off, but this wasn't here before, but oh yeah, for the contractor, that's great. Help us on those change orders. But next, I would like to ask to come to the podium for a few brief remarks, Keith Smith, who is an environmental engineer for the Ohio Department of Transportation.
Good morning. On behalf of ODOT Director Jerry Ray and our District Deputy Director Tammy Campbell, I'd like to thank you for the opportunity to participate in today's Southampton Crossing groundbreaking celebration. I remember when I was first assigned to this project about a decade ago, I'd mentioned it to my dad, who's also from the area, that ODOT was going to be working with the City of Hamilton and Butler County and the TID to work on the Central and Grand intersection at the railroad track. Dad recalled that this had always been a problem, and he was glad to see that it was finally going to be fixed. And even though this project has had some challenges, the commitment of our partners here at the City of Hamilton and Butler County TID and others have finally made this project a reality. Now, originally, the purpose for this project was to improve safety and geometrics and to provide a better east-west connectivity within the city. But as the City of Hamilton further expanded its vision for the project, it's grown beyond just fixing a problem. The project that will build on the roadway improvement elements will reach a larger goal of economic development and revitalization of the area, a vision that was shared with members of the Transportation Review Advisory Committee Council, TRAC. And I recall hearing one of the members, when they did the TRAC presentation, stating that, where's this project been? This is the project we've been looking for. This is a project with strong support and not only addresses a transportation issue, but also boosts the economy of the region. So through the forward thinking of the city leadership and strong partnership between the city, the county, the state, the regional supporters, this is developed into a project of regional significance, bringing new jobs to the area and attracting the attention of international investors. It's a road leading to jobs. At ODOT, it's our mission to provide safe and easy transportation of people and goods from place to place. As partners with our friends here in the City of Hamilton and Butler County, this project continues our efforts to achieve that mission. ODOT is proud to partner on this important regional investment in the transportation system and in our economy. Thank you.
Next up, I'd like to ask the Mayor of Hamilton, Pat Moeller, to come make a few remarks. Mr. Mayor.
Well, good morning, and thank all of you for being here on this very, very special day. We've got a couple of mayors here. Mayor Don Ryan is here. Mayor Ann Antonin is here. We have some other city managers here, former city managers, Jack Kirsch, Mike Samovisky. Glad to have all the city employees here. And of course, we had the previously mentioned city council members, Matt Von Stein, Tim Knabb, and Kathy Klink. A few years ago, there was a controversial bridge project in Alaska that got dubbed the label, the Bridge to Nowhere. It was well over a $300 million project with arguably minimal impact on residents and commerce. In comparison, South Hamilton Crossing is a roadway, an overpass, a bridge to somewhere with great positive impact on Butler County residents and Butler County commerce. This crossing benefits employment, education, and even riverfront entertainment and recreation. And I believe that all types of businesses will be created as a result of the new South Hamilton crossing. Regarding education, the Crossing Roadway Project will benefit Miami University Hamilton, where we're pleased to be this morning, as well as Riverview Elementary School here in the city. And actually, there should be college and high school courses on how the South Hamilton Crossing project was built through partnerships, governmental, financial, and technical partnerships. I want to thank all of you partners for putting this together. And I'm going to say special thanks to Mike Samovisky, who's here today, because he took some dusty, rolled up South Hamilton Crossing engineering documents off the shelf. And I think, Mike, they were dusty. And went to a meeting that many of us attended at the Butler County Engineer's office, at Greg Wilkins' office. So thank you, Mike, because I know that you were big in this and getting this truly off the shelf. And I mentioned the county engineer. Greg Wilkins is a good golfer, but he's a great engineer. I want to thank you, City Manager Joshua Smith, Public Works Director Rich Engel, TID Director Dave Spinney, Economic Development Director Jody Gunderson, Vice Mayor Carla Fear and Council, Jim Blunt, and the TID Board, and the rest of our local government professionals. And of course, our funding partners who are in the program, among them OKI, CSX, TRAC, Ohio Development Services Agency, and the Ohio Department of Transportation. As a 5-year-old child, being taken to my parents to the Frisch's on the east side, that was years ago. Many of you don't remember there weren't too many fast food restaurants on the west side, so we went over to the east side, places called Carter's and Frisch's and the like. we took the South Hamilton crossing, and I thought that crossing those tracks was kind of like an amusement park ride. It rocked you, it rolled you, and kind of made you turn sideways. And that was all kind of fun. But now I'm a little bit older. I know that there are safety issues to rocking, rolling, and kind of going sideways a little bit. The South Hamilton project is about human safety. It's about efficient and quick public safety vehicle access east to west. It's about jobs, and it's about economic development. And city leaders from over 100 years ago are saying from the heavens that it's about time. So on behalf of 63,000 city residents and the city businesses, we thank you all, thank all the partners for turning vision into reality. Thank you.
I told Councilman Brown he should not be sitting in the cheap seats because they keep forgetting to mention his name back there. But before I introduced the next two speakers, I vividly recall a meeting at Vice Mayor Fear's house shortly after I started as city manager. And it actually was the same day that we were painting the BTW Center. And I remember getting there, and Jim Blunt was there, and Carla was there. And they sat down and they were telling me how important this project was. And being new, I mean, I'll be the first to admit, it was one of those things. I kept looking at my watch. They were expecting me at the BTW Center. I had to grab my paintbrush. After about an hour, I had to excuse myself to get over there by a certain time. And I could sense the frustration from both of them that, hey, this project is important. It's been talked about for 100 years. This thing needs to move forward. I will tell you, there is no doubt in my mind that many people should be thanked for this project. But two in particular in more recent times that made sure it got pushed forward to the stage it's on are the next two speakers. I'm actually very excited to hear, and I hope Mr. Blunt takes the time to talk about the history of this project, because I have heard him speak on it twice now. I've read his materials on it, and it's a very fascinating history. So without anything else, Mr. Blunt.
Thank you. Before I give my history lesson for the day, I would like to make sure that additional recognition is given to Dave Spinney. I know Dave is over here, a TID director. Stand up, Dave. It's a little hard to see. I see Denise also. Denise Roberts, please stand. Is that Sean in the middle? Sean Franfelder? That's the entire TID staff. And the work that they accomplish, the work that Dave particularly has done on this project is unreal. He used a term a few weeks ago, and I'm going to remind him of it, that he's learning how to herd cats. And that's kind of what it takes to get a project like this moving. I would also be remiss if I didn't refer back to our friend Keith Smith here. We've worked with ODOT on many projects over the years, and Keith has been there on most of them. And sometimes agencies don't get along too well. But thanks to the quiet way that Keith goes about his job, we have been able to cooperate and get things done, put the fires out. And I just wanted to publicly thank Keith and his colleagues at ODOT for their cooperation. Another group that's gotten very little mention in this is OKI, and ranking this project #1 a few years ago on their project list, which tremendously, of course, has helped. And OKI has been there also through the history of the TID since 1993. Now, the history of the project. This day will never come. That's what they've been saying for, I figure, at least 125 years. Why would there be that pessimism? There have been at least 10 previous tries to build this overpass or underpass. 10. It started in the 1890s, and Hamilton was expanding in the late 1880s and early 1890s. And then came something called the Panic of 1893, the worst depression that the United States had suffered up to that time, and only surpassed by the Depression of the 1930s. All projects went to the shelf. The city at this time also was expanding without any kind of infrastructure plan. There was no master plan. Streets were built helter-skelter. That's why in some places a street by the same name doesn't meet, they're offset. Things of that nature happened. Then there was the 1913 flood, and most people in this room who are local, I don't have to talk about that. But it took years to recover from that. And a plan was about to be advanced at that time, and of course nothing happened. Then the controlling political party in the city had the philosophy that don't build an underpass or overpass because it would only benefit the rich, and that sidetracked the project again. Next came World War I, restrictions on building, manpower shortages. Short war. 2 years later, there is a slight recession after the war. No chance to build. Then the 1920s and Prohibition. And if you're from Hamilton and you have heard the stories of Little Chicago, you know that that was more than just the Prohibition problem. City government went into the tank and was there for a good 10 to 15 years. Couldn't accomplish much. In fact, there were at least twice where they almost abolished the police department in order to have money for other projects. Then came, of course, a railroad in financial distress for many years and unable to contribute or cooperate. And finally, the Great Depression. I don't have to mention that. Some missed opportunities there in federal programs during that time when Hamilton had other priorities. Then more building and manpower restrictions with World War II, which extended really into the Korean War era. Then in the 50s came the loss of industry, also the start of the decline of downtown retailing in the 50s and accelerating in the 60s. The city's resources then focused on trying to find new industries in those old plants that were worn out, and in bringing in large big box department stores for downtown. Now here we are, finally, the 11th try. And we're not really going to break the real ground today, but at least ceremonial will be doing it. So it's one of those things that several times during my lifetime spent in Hamilton that I heard talk about it and people got a little excited and all at once down the drain. So for all those who have cooperated in making this happen, and it's been a number of people, not just a few, and I would also call attention to this part of your program, which lists contributing companies and firms which are a part of this. This is not a one man or one group project. This is a cooperative effort in the truest sense. Congressman Davidson, I would invite you to come talk to us sometimes and learn the advantages of TID and what they've been able to accomplish, particularly in this county. We would welcome that. Thank you very much.
Next, I'd like to ask Vice Mayor Fear to come up and make some remarks.
Something's happening here. A great Buffalo Springfield song and a powerful statement about Hamilton. Today we have a milestone where we finally have our newest oldest new project, however you want to put it, comes to life with South Hamilton Crossing. In 2009, I started serving on the TID board and became the champion for South Hamilton Crossing through an introduction from Jim Blunt at a Cox Road groundbreaking on the back of a placemat from the luncheon that we went to. And he drew everything out as to what had happened, what needs to happen, and then between him and Ed Shelton, I was hooked and wanted to see this happen. I learned a lot about infrastructure, the fine details of major projects, and working with wide organizations, and the value of communicating with all stakeholders. And so you've already heard the importance of this project: safety, better connectivity, development of 60 acres. And because I'm last in the program, it kind of limits me to what I have to say. So I'm just going to, as Chris Cannell said, just say ditto to everything that's been said before. But I would like to speak from the heart for a minute, because to me this is a symbol of what City of Hamilton is about: the patience and persistence of getting something done. And we've had the pleasure of many new announcements, developments, projects that have come to light now. And there are many more on the horizon for that. And I would invite everyone to please be educated, get involved, stay informed, ask questions, bring information, because we cannot move forward without everybody that is behind us. We're not stopping here. We have a lot more to do, so stay tuned, and thank you very much.
I want to thank everyone that came to speak today. I had the opportunity to speak at a symposium in Detroit last week on creating strong neighborhoods, and a vice president of philanthropy for JP Morgan Chase used a phrase that I wrote it down, and I've been thinking about it a lot since that day. And she used the phrase, the muscle of collaboration. And when I think about the accomplishments in Hamilton, Ohio in my 6 years here, all of them have been very strong collaborations. When I think about the sign that recently went up across from the old Mercy Hospital site that is announcing a $15 million 100-unit market rate apartment unit with 15,000 square feet of retail space, that never would have happened if the Markham family had not given the money to do Markham Park. The developer actually showed up once Markham Park became public. He wanted to build this development across from that park. Joe and Sarah Markham, in my mind, never would have given the money for Markham Park if the city council and the prior city council did not take the bull by the horns and acquire the old Mercy Hospital site when it was sitting abandoned, have it demolished, and turn it into what is now River's Edge Amphitheater. It's almost as simple as just connecting dots. And as I think about all the progress that we have made as a community, it's just these simple things that keep us moving forward. And the one thing that I'm incredibly excited about is we haven't even scratched the surface yet. We have so much work left to do, and if the paralysis that we see somewhat at the federal level, and I have very strong hopes that Congressman Davidson's going to help us get through that, it's up to the cities, it's up to the communities, it's up to us collaborating for progress. It's not happening at the federal level. To a lesser extent, it's not happening at the state level. It has to be at our level. We need to push all in, and that is, in my 6 years in Hamilton, the thing that I'm most amazed about, the ability to do that. With that, again, I want to again thank Mayor Moeller, Vice Mayor Fear, all the council members that are in attendance today. Thank the former mayors Ann Anton and Don Ryan for their vision. Former city managers Mike Samovisky and Jack Kirsch. If we have two city managers in our history that have been as forward-thinking about transportation projects, it's certainly those two. Again, thank you to Tammy Rose, Peggy Bangy, and Stacy Dietrich for all the work in putting this together, and to all the speakers today, to everyone that's in the crowd, because if you're here, you have a reason to be here, and that's because you want to see Hamilton move forward. So thank you. I believe that we have some refreshments out here. Several of us will be sticking around. So if there's no other comments from the panel, then thank you all for being here, and please have some refreshments.
We need to get the shovels out.